Hey kids, Flexing Teacher Weber back for round 2 of solving equations by division. Now in the first part you got to see where some of these math equations come from, how they're developed, and we solved them. The focus in this part, and the focus I'm going to want you to do for an assignment today, is how to properly solve these math equations. Now, it's going to be very important that you show me your steps, even though you can probably do a lot of these by mental math. So, in number 1, it says solve each equation by showing what you would do to both sides of the equal sign. So the first thing to know about this kind of question is you have to understand what exactly it means. Well, the 3x we know from all the work we've done on algebra already means 3 multiplied by some unknown number equals 15. And using the idea of equality in algebra, to solve this kind of thing, whatever you do to one side of an equal sign, you have to do to the other side of an equal sign. And you always focus on the variable part. The variable part has a multiply by 3, and so to show the opposite of multiply by 3, you divide by 3. And the way you do that is by making a fraction. You do divide by 3 on that side of the equal sign, and then you do divide by 3 there. Now, you solve what's on both sides of the equal sign. 3 divided by 3 leaves me with 1, x. And 15 divided by 3 is 5. Now, what we need to understand in algebra, if we have a 1x, that's just the same as saying x. 1x and x are the same thing. So x is equal to 5. If we were to substitute that 5 back into the math equation, 3 times 5 does equal 15. So we know that's correct. Now, I know we could have solved that probably by mental math, but we want to make sure we show that idea of equality in algebra, and using this method will help us when we get ones that aren't necessarily easy to solve by mental math. Let's do another one. Number 2, 11t equals 44. 11 multiplied by some unknown number, in this case the variable is t, equals 44. To solve this, find the variable, it's t. Do the opposite of multiply by 11, which is beside the variable. So the opposite of multiply by 11. Oh, I want to use a blue pen there. The opposite of multiply by 11 is to divide by 11. It's going to happen, trust me. Divide by 11. And if I do it on that side of the equal sign, it happens on that side of the equal sign as well. 11 divided by 11 is 1t. And 44 divided by 11 is 4. And 1t is the same as saying just t equals 4. Really important, you show me this part. When I eventually give you a test on this, if you forget to show this part, you'll lose 1 whole mark. So it's not just good enough to have the answer. Let's look at another one. 36 equals 9k. Now, exact same kind of question. The only thing that's different here is the variable is on the other side of the equal sign, but we still do everything exactly the same. This time, beside the variable is a multiply by 9. The opposite of multiply by 9 is to divide by 9. So I do divide by 9 there, and I do divide by 9 on there to maintain my equality. Now, make sure you keep everything on the correct side of the equal sign. 36 divided by 9 is 4. Keep that on the left-hand side of the equal sign. Equal sign. 9 divided by 9 is 1 and k. Or another way of saying that is just 4 equals k. All right, let's look at one more. Now, we don't necessarily have to have whole numbers, right? We can have decimals, we can have fractions. So in this one, 6 and 4/10 equals 4g. Well, beside the variable is multiply by 4. The opposite of multiply by 4 is to divide by 4. So we're going to divide by 4 there, and we're going to divide by 4 there. Now, we might not know mental math what 6 and 4/10 divided by 4 is. That's why we're going to go over here and we're going to remind ourselves the long division we did earlier in the year. So I'm going to go over beside that question, and I'm going to put 6 4/10 there. I'm going to put a 4 there, and we're going to use long division to divide this, and then we'll have our answer. So got to build on some of the stuff we learned earlier in the year. Now remember, I have a decimal in the question, so I have to have a decimal in the answer. How many groups of 4 fit inside 6? 1. 1 times 4 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. Bring down the 4. Now, do 24 divide by 4. 24 divided by 4 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24. Subtract them, and there's no remainder. So 6 4/10 divided by 4 is 1 6/10 equals 4 divided by 4 is 1g. And that's the same as saying g. So knowing that, that gives you a bunch of examples now that show you how to solve math equations by division. I'm going to be giving you an assignment, MP 234, numbers 1 to 27 all. Show your work, and you can see I've done the very first example there and how you should do them. Hopefully that gives you an idea of how to solve math equations by division. Flexing Teacher Weber, out.